Hello everyone and welcome to another no editing style video. This is Alrav from Quebec, Canada, the author and creator of Algatras the Protector / Algatras le Protector. And for today's video, previously I've already talked about the topic of how to create your own comic book from scratch. I've made a full video about that, as well as the entire making of franco-belgian album miniseries, all of which are always available on Substack and YouTube alike. So for today's video I wanted to show you something brand new, and that is how to do digital editing and coloring, which is something that I have not shown before. I did make a brief experiment of making a video in this type of format where I'm showing you on the screen. So what I'm going to be showing you here is a double page spread that I've already shown in one of my old videos about the lore behind Algatras, I believe. And the purpose of this is to show you the different steps of how it is when you take a finished piece of artwork like this and bring it over to the computer screen. If you are a digital artist who are working with, let's say, a tablet, you will probably just have to make the whole drawing from scratch on the screen. But if you're a traditional artist like me, you'll be making the full comic book page on paper first before scanning it. So this is what the scan page directly straight from the scanner looks like. So it is scanned to be around something like 300 to 600 ppi. I believe that's the resolution format. So it is the very high resolution scan in its entirety, complete with all the little pixels and imperfections that you can see in this sort of high resolution scan. So the idea is that once the page itself, which in this case it's a double page spread, you'll be then working on the page itself to clean it up in order to make it presentable. So now this is what the finished clean version looks like. So cleaning up a comic book page like this, or in this case a double page spread, the time it can take to do so can vary greatly from one page to the next, but on average it takes about somewhere between 2 to 3 hours, sometimes 4 maybe. It can vary greatly depending on the size and complexity of the drawing itself. And probably there are some exceptions here and there. So to give you an idea, if you're drawing, for instance, a background and stuff, you can use a straight line easily to correct. So these are actually easier to edit than, let's say, human characters. But stuff like close-ups and middle shots, they require a lot of characters that are in movement, in action, and so these sort of straight line skills they can't really apply, which is exactly why I would actually have to close in very deep inside the drawing and manually start adding up the lines. And since I do not use a tablet, I did the whole thing with a mouse, which is an exploit in itself. It is tough, but the editing process is definitely the longest out of the comic book page itself. Stuff like the drawing and the inking, I've become better at it over time, but the editing style page is definitely tough. So now, once the page has been cleaned as much as possible, this is where you can go to the coloring. And this is interesting because you can use layers in programs like paint.net and Auto Alternative to do stuff like that. So I'm going to be showing you the individual layers. So this is basically, there are no layers at all, so we do not want that. This is with only the background itself, that would basically be the same as the edited drawings that I've already shown. This is when you add the flat colors, so without any shading or lightning at all. So this is what it looks like. And this is basically when you add all the shadings and lightning onto the drawing. Now if I take out the layer for the coloring, it would actually look something like this. So how many layers should you add for digital coloring? That's really up to you, but sometimes it is easier to do a drawing with only one or two at most than to have many different layers for all sorts of specific things, because the more layers you have, the harder it becomes to revisit and clean up the drawings, as well as to make revisions or correct mistakes eventually. And that's basically what I have to say with regards to digital editing and coloring. So let me know what you think in the commentary section below. And as always, look forward to all the Algatras the Protector / Algatras the Protector stuff on my Substack. And as always, the first issue is available for free over there in both English and French, alongside well over 100 blog comics chapters. And the second issue is coming out soon in the weeks to come, so stay tuned for that, for the official announcements. With that being said, thanks for watching, and we'll see one another very soon. Enjoy the reading.